to the Business and Bubbly podcast. This is the place for women in business who are on the journey of building their big ideas and want to have fun along the way. It's for those of us who also know we aren't meant to do business or life alone. Hi, I'm Charity Majors, your host and the founder of Business and Bubbly. Think of this kind of like the can I pick your brain chats that you've always wanted to have with those who are doing epic things, plus business besties, hype girls, and getting into massive action towards your next big idea all in the same place. Oh, and bubbles, because if you're not having fun along the way, you're not doing it right. Together, we'll unlock what it means to be seen, known, heard, and championed all along the ups and downs of entrepreneurship and being a woman in business building big dreams. Each week, I'll bring you a quick sip business tip, as well as interviews from top experts that make you feel like you're getting bottle service for your business. We're having the raw and real conversations and chatting about all the things, the messy middle, the pivots, scaling, the good days and the bad days, because here we do real. It's where we can work hard, play hard, cry it out, and dance it out all at the same time without being judged. This is a place where we are in the arena together and we are each other's biggest fans because most of us have enough comments from the cheap seats. It's where our too much is par for the course and where the gaps of our not enough are filled in by the other epic women that are around us. It's where we can be unapologetic about the mission we are on, about the big dreams on our heart, and the business we are building without having to be perfect or have it all together, or even pretend to. It's a supportive community where business is being done amongst like-minded women, because when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. It's a place where you have the support around you to get out of your comfort zone and go after your big ideas, because even when you fail forward or when you reach the top, you know it won't be alone. Also, if you know anything about me, you'll know that I'm obsessed with creating platforms that lift up other women to be seen and heard and known. So with that in mind, I'd like to invite you to list your business on our directory called Find Women in Business. All you've got to do is text the word directory to 833-231-8098, and I'll text you the link back to get your free listing. This is also a great way to connect with other women in business from around the world, so definitely check it out. And now let's get to the good stuff. Grab a glass of your favorite beverage, Prosecco, bubbly water, or whatever your flavor is, and let's dive in. Are you with me? Here we go. Hello, friend. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Charity Majors, and you guys are going to love Rachel. Rachel Pedersen. She is the queen of social media. She is the CEO and owner of her social media marketing agency called The Viral Touch. She's a full-time social media consultant and strategist, and she is the founder of Social Media United. Rachel is a top social media marketer and consultant, worldwide viral sensation, leading authority on storytelling through social media and Facebook ads. Rachel's journey actually began in 2016 while working her 8-to-5 day job. And within 6 months, she replaced her income and built a clientele that she loved working with. Rachel is also a mother to 3 beautiful children and a wife to her supportive husband, which you guys are going to want to hear that story for sure. To say that Rachel is genuine and kind and sweet and a mom boss rock star is just the tip of the iceberg. And I hope that you guys love this girl as much as I do. We talk a lot about what it takes to not only develop grit, but how the lessons in life can help you develop and figure out what you don't want in your life. We chat a little bit about some pretty brilliant marketing strategies, including leveraging other people's fame. We chat about Facebook trends, why as entrepreneurs it's important to get into the Facebook ad strategy now and to have things that convert, as well as ad strategy on how to reach your customers, how to warm them up, and how to get them to say yes to your thing. We also chat a little bit about Rachel's tip on going viral, but you will have to find out more towards the end of this episode. So make sure that you guys tune in and have a great time listening to the gold nuggets that Rachel Pedersen has for you guys. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining on the podcast. I'm so excited that you are here, whether you are in your car or if at the gym with you, or you are getting ready for the day, or whatever you are doing. It's an honor to be able to share this time with you, and just means so much to chat with you guys a little bit. And I am stoked to have our guest on the show today. Rachel Pedersen, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and helping all of your awesome clients, and just coming and sharing with our audience some pretty amazing, not only your story is amazing, like hands down, like my favorite stories.
Charity, thank you so much for having me. We're going to have so much fun this evening. Yeah, this evening.
This evening. Yeah, I love it. So Rachel, people obviously, they just heard your awesome bio, all the great things that you're doing, a little bit about your backstory, but I would love for them to get to know you more, because your story, like I remember when I got to hear it first at the Unstoppable Influence Summit, which was where we met. But you just shined so bright from the inside out, and it has just been so fun to not only follow your journey and just to connect with you a little bit more, but I would love for others to get to know you and love you as much as I do.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's dive on in. So growing up, I was, interestingly enough, the daughter of a youth pastor, and my mom was the worship leader at our church. So from a very young age, I was kind of taught what it is to have a platform. Anyone who is familiar with church and pastors and ministry knows what that's like. And as a pastor's kid, I think it was a really good thing. At the time, it didn't feel that way. It just felt like, how come there's always all this pressure to be perfect and this pressure to perform in a way? But that was the very first upbringing I had. I guess it felt like there were a couple different phases in life. And so I was raised, like my sisters and my mom and I sing in 4-part harmony. We can sing like Jingle Bells in 4-part harmony at any given time. That's exactly how I was raised. And so that was the very first phase in my journey. But then when I turned about 13 years old, some kind of interesting trials and tribulations started happening in my family household. It took about 5 years, but my parents separated and got back together again for literally 5 years. And by the time I was 18, I was off to college, but the damage was definitely done. It changed a key part of who I was, and kind of, I got a little bit lost for a while, to be totally honest with you. And so around that time I went to college, and I started to just kind of, I guess, bop about. I always think of like those, when you see like a balloon that's stuck under a tree and it's like bopping and it's trying to find the sky so badly. That's exactly how I felt in that phase of life. And it was after I became a single mom at the age of 21, found myself just uncertain about life and not knowing what came next and how I was going to get even close to my dreams, let alone make it from day to day, because we were literally in survive mode. And anyone who's listening to this who's been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about with survive mode. Mm-hmm. But during that season of life was when I developed grit. And it was a time that taught me how to make it through absolutely everything. So when my daughter was 3 years old, I met my husband, Paul, and he is hands down the most amazing person I have ever met in my life. And when I met him, we met and fell in love and got married in 13 days, Charity.
Oh man, I love
it. It was so fast, but I just knew I had experienced enough of what I didn't want in life. And when I met him, it was a great comparison to everything that I was like, that's not what I want for my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we've been married now for over 5 years, 2 extra kids later, several businesses later. it's been so much fun. But it was about 3 years ago that I became a marketer. And that's a whole nother story in and of itself, but it has been a wild ride.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much because not only you talk about grit, but so much of sometimes what can happen in our life, it's like whether it's someone that has hurt us or that we've learned along the way what not to do, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Or you learn how you don't want to treat people or how you don't want to run a business, or right. It's not always that we're learning all this awesome stuff, how to. A lot of times we're learning what not to do.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting when you start to look at every single interaction as a learning experience.
Yeah.
Every single interaction, maybe you go to a restaurant and you have absolutely terrible service. You can leave the restaurant upset, or you can say, wow, I learned a lot about how I don't ever want people to feel when they leave me. I don't ever want someone to feel like I was, they were a burden to me, or I was frustrated, or all I could see was everyone but that person, And so for me, all those years of trials and tribulations taught me exactly what I don't want out of life. And so we've built a life that doesn't look anything like those.
I love that. I love that. So let's dive a little bit into marketing and kind of how I wouldn't say that you dipped your toe into it. I would say you like cannonballed into the deep end of marketing and went from 0 to 100 in a really short amount of time. So let's chat a little bit about that story, and then we'll dive into some fun, just kind of trends that you have seen in the marketing world and some tips that you might have.
Yeah, I loved that you compared it to a cannonball, because that's the kind of person I have always been. It's either all or nothing. I'm either not going in the water, or I literally am jumping off the boat, diving in as fast as I can. And that's exactly what my marketing career was like. I was a hairdresser for a few years, and one day one of my clients came in and she's like, can you help us with our social media? And I figured, I know more than her. I can help her with what I do know. And from there, I found just this passion for everything related to marketing. And literally, it's been just about, I think I'm coming up on 3 years full time. No, I'm at 2.5 years full time doing this. And we've grown 2 multi-million-dollar businesses. We have teams around the world, which is crazy cool. Students from around the world. And we have scaled so many clients, helped so many clients to make their first $1 million, and then second, and then third. And it's just been an amazing experience. I'm absolutely obsessed with marketing. Now, what I love most about it, I think you like this as well, is the constant challenge of change. And that's one of my favorite things to watch. It infuriates some people. I love it. I think it's absolutely fascinating. And one of my favorite places to learn about marketing is actually with celebrities. I love celebrities. I know not everybody does. I personally find them incredibly fascinating because it's a beautiful case study in how to build a brand.
Yeah. Interesting. Let's chat a little bit about that.
Let's do it. So are you somebody who loves celebrities? There's like 2 groups of people who love them and people who are like, not so much.
It depends. I think it depends on the celebrity, and either I like people that are just excellent at whatever it is that they do. And I like to write success leaves clues. And so anybody that is excellent, you better believe I'm like following them and stalking them and geeking out on them and reading their biography or whatever it is.
Yes.
So yes, when someone is excellent, yes, I will totally geek out on them.
My latest person that I've been following and watching closely is somebody who has truly mastered the art of marketing, and that is Ariana Grande.
Oh.
Like her music or hate her music, she has mastered building a personal brand and leveraging other people's fame in order to grow her clout. It's phenomenal. Have you seen her latest music video, Thank You Next?
I have not. I'll have to look at it.
What she did in that video is revolutionary in that she had throwbacks to the movies that we all grew up loving: Legally Blonde, 13 Going on 30, Mean Girls, and Bring It On. And she literally played up all four of those and gave this amazing tribute that won over a ton of people, but also built incredible rapport and respect with the older actresses who played those roles. It was absolute mastery of marketing.
That's a good nugget. Especially when we talk about leverage, right? I know, a person that we both follow and follow his success and are mentored. I know you are closer with Russell Brunson in his inner circle, and I follow from afar and take his online programs and all this different stuff. And my coach is actually in inner circle with him. But this idea of this leverage, or what he calls this cross-pollination, right?
Oh, yes, exactly. I have been so fascinated with the way that she did it so well. People didn't even realize that if someone wasn't a fan of Ariana Grande, but they liked, or loved rather, Legally Blonde, Bring It On, 13 Going on 30, or Mean Girls, they couldn't help but watch the music video and say, oh my gosh, I love that she did that. She brought a bunch of the original actors into her music video. It was so well done. And it was truly cross-pollination, or like I like to call it, authority jacking.
Yeah, that's so good. And for those of you guys that aren't necessarily sure about like what this cross-pollination means, it's kind of like, so we can just use the literal term, right? What bees do when they land on a flower and then they go to another flower and it cross-pollinates the flower's pollen. Or if you have ever seen a TV show and all of a sudden they kind of branch off, right? There's like the ER show and then it branches off into like the police show or then the fire show, but the characters intermix in different episodes, so that now all of a sudden that the audience that likes the hospital show is going to go and watch the police show, and then the person that all of a sudden the firefighters show up in the police show, and then that's going to cross-pollinate with their different audiences within the show. So that's the idea of what we're talking about here with marketing, and with this Ariana Grande video and what Rachel is talking about. So just for those of you guys that didn't necessarily know. So I love that. So what tips would you give to someone for, so as an entrepreneur, for this cross-pollination idea or concept?
One of the best tips that I have is looking for people who have had success before you, but who have similarities to your core values. You know, we all have different core values that guide us. And for me, family is big. Family is everything. I believe in marriage and being a great parent. Those are the things that those are non-negotiables for me.
Yeah.
And so when I see someone who also is putting family and those relationships first, I say, okay, that's a person who has similar values to mine. And even if they're in a different niche, that's an opportunity for me to get to know their audience and for their audience to get to know me. And so that's what I recommend looking for, is like, who do you see that has a podcast or Facebook Lives or statuses that inspire you, but there's a core value commonality. You guys have the same core values, even if their niche or their strategies are totally different.
I love that. And it aligns so much with obviously collaboration and this abundance mindset instead of the competition and the lack mindset, right? It's like, no, like we all win together, right? When I lift you up and when you lift me up and when we, share our audiences and share each other's the thing and the whatever it is, right? It's be the tide that raises all ships. And that's really where the abundance mindset comes in. I just love that so much.
Mm-hmm. I love that too. And it's really funny because I think in life we've been kind of raised to believe that there's a limited amount of success or a limited amount of money or confidence, or right? Like there's a limited amount. And the crazy part is when you start to adopt the mentality you just talked about, the rising tide raises all ships, you realize, wow, there's strength in numbers and in multiplication. And when you're around people who share those same core beliefs, it suddenly is this multiplier rather than it doesn't divide, and it doesn't minimize your reach. It exponentially multiplies it.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. So let's dive into a little bit of some of the stuff that you were talking about at the Unstoppable Influence Summit, with why, especially right now, that Facebook ads are like, if someone is an entrepreneur, they should literally be building this ATM machine, right? This money machine that you help people build.
Yes.
And why now is the time to get in?
So one of the things that I shared is that right now is the right time to get started. And the reason why is because Facebook ads are still incredibly affordable for most people. It's something that isn't going to be around forever. We are in this beautiful, beautiful era where people can literally become millionaires for the first time in their lives. Or it's a time where millionaires are becoming billionaires for the first time. And that's kind of crazy. And the power all lies in digital marketing. Now, Facebook is the one that I focus on the most, only because the cost for ads is so minimal compared to what you can create. We oftentimes call it a money printing machine. When you have an offer that converts, you can literally put in $1 and make $2 back. You have the ability to scale exponentially. And so the thing that's it's not scary, but it's definitely a kick in the pants, is that the cost is only going to go up as these big brands jump in and start realizing, whoa, we're missing a huge opportunity right now. It's going to become flooded. It's going to become saturated. And then we all will miss out on this beautiful golden era that is transforming lives.
I love that so much. So when you talk about an offer that converts, this is actually a beautiful science. There's a science to this, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So one of the things that is a part of that equation is, first and foremost, having an offer that converts. And that for some people is the most challenging part of the equation. But Facebook ads only work if you already have something that's working on a micro level. First and foremost, you have to make sure that your funnel, your offers convert before you start really running a whole bunch of Facebook traffic to it, or else you're just magnifying a problem, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly now you're more discouraged and you've spent a lot of money on trying to make an offer convert that isn't. So that's the very first thing that I always look for, is your offer converting. And if it is, it's time to put Facebook ads behind it and really magnify the level of results you're getting so far.
That's so good. So when it comes to ad strategy, what are some nuggets that you have for that?
Ooh, when it comes to ad strategy, the very first thing that I do is I create 3 tiers. And I've used this strategy for as long as I can remember. It's the 3 tiers. We've got tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And if you think about it, it's kind of like awareness and consideration and purchase. It's first and foremost, you want to warm audiences. Before you're out there in the world, nobody's going to buy from you, because they're like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do. I don't know what problem you're solving. But that very first tier is basically taking the whole wide world that is in your target market and putting them into a place that warms them. They say, I've seen her before. I've seen him before. I don't know why, but they feel comfortable. And so we spend that first tier just really building brandness and audience for the second tier, which is consideration. Yeah, the second tier is really interesting because there's 2 different ways to go about it. Some people go straight to purchase, and that's not a wrong tier to have. Sometimes I like to use this second tier, however, for something as simple as generating leads or a free challenge or something that is delivering value with very little cost associated with it. And then the third tier is your hottest markets, the people who have visited your sales pages, the people who have visited maybe even your freebie pages. It's the opportunity to then remarket to them. And I liked how you said go into kind of stalker status. Once you've seen someone's funnel, you should be seeing them absolutely everywhere. And that's what we like to do with tier 3.
I love that so much. Well, and that's what's so fun about, I'm sure, what you geek out on, the full ad strategy. And I know we were chatting a little bit before this, but my unshakable confidence challenge, which I'm so excited about because we've done so many different pivots and edits and changes, and right, going back to like, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to have like the funnel thing and you're going to have the courses and you're going to build this brand, like you better like the pivots and you better like the changes.
Yes.
But having that offer that converts. And so we got mine to be at some great numbers for conversions. And so just the other day, my marketing coach, he was like, all right, we can go everywhere. So I'm like, officially stalker status.
Yay.
Start to see my ads everywhere. Yay.
Amazing. I love that so much. So if you have landed on any of Charity's funnels, be prepared. You're going to see her everywhere, and that's a good thing. It means she's doing what she needs to be doing.
So fun. So now not only chatting a little bit about ad strategy, which I love, but I know that you also have a great program that teaches others how to become a digital marketer. So whether they want to have clients, whether they want to start to build their own business as digital marketers, you want to chat a little bit about that?
We definitely can. So I have 2 businesses right now. We have a digital marketing agency that's just done for you work, predominantly social media and paid advertising through Facebook. But then I also have a whole another business that is called Social Media United. And that's where I teach people how to essentially become social media managers. And the funny thing is most people don't realize it's actually a secret weapon for business owners, because if that's where all the social media managers are being trained, that's pure gold for business owners too, because everything you need to know is inside of Social Media United. So we actually teach how to handle the different platforms, how to grow, how to create content, how to batch your content. There's so much in there that teaches people everything you could possibly want and dream about organic social media.
That sounds so, so good. We just actually had, I know she's one of your girlfriends, Marley, on the show. She was chatting. We talked a lot about batching content. So make sure that you guys check out that episode if that part intrigued you, because she gave some gold nuggets when it came to batching content. But I know that you guys work really closely together. And so I have no doubt that your course has a really amazing tips, and maybe I will have to grab that course as well. I'm such a nerd that I just love taking everyone's courses and learning all that.
She's amazing. Marley has been incredible. She was actually one of my very first students, and she went through each of my different levels of programs, including my paid advertising course and then my high ticket mastermind. And then when it was time to go to the next level, I actually fired her from my programs, and I said, I'm not letting you go on any further. And she was like, what do you mean? Like, what did I do wrong? And I was like, nothing. I just think we're supposed to be best friends. And so we became instant and fast best friends from that. And we even have the matching tattoos and everything.
How fun. I know you guys are so cute. I always love seeing your pictures together and your ads together. It's so fun. So fun. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for sharing just these gold nuggets when it comes to the ad strategy, right? We talked about the 3 tiers and building that awareness and making sure that you guys are warming up your audience. People are not going to do business with you until they know you, like you, and trust you, right? That's what that is all about. And then the consideration, right? Like, it's like, hey, like, I would love if you considered taking this thing or getting this freebie or buying the thing or joining the thing or whatever it might be. And then the actual purchase, that's such great ad strategy. And then, gosh, we just went over some great nuggets. So make sure that you guys, if you need to, listen to this again. And Rachel, I want to make sure that people can find you, follow you, stalk you, get your programs, whatever it is that will serve them best. So what is the best way to find you?
Absolutely. The easiest way to find me is on my website. It's rachelpedersen.com. My last name is all E's and a D. And if you go there, you'll see there's a whole bunch of incredible free resources, including the Elite Marketers Facebook Ad Summit, where we dive into all kinds of strategies for Facebook ads. And that's totally free, which is pretty fun.
Ooh, nice. And there is one other thing that I totally forgot to chat about, but maybe they can just geek out on your website. But you went viral and you give this whole great little, great some videos about how to go viral. So if you guys want some of those nuggets, you'll just have to head over to her website, and I'll make sure to link it in the show notes so that you guys can just scroll down and click the link right away and check out her tips on how to go viral as well. So, all right, Rachel, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I look forward to cheering you on in everything that you do.
Charity, I love seeing you seriously win and dominate as well. Thank you so, so much for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to the show. I hope it brought some value and some fun into your business and life. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and even share the episode with a fellow business bestie who you know will love it. It helps us continue to attract top-level guests and reach more and more women who are on their journey in business just like you. Remember that when money gets in the hands of good women, great things happen. Cheers to your success.